Good day, viewers, and welcome once again to another wonderful episode of Government and Public Service Reports on your favorite TV station, Atlantic Television Network. Here we'll bring you the news, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle of government activities to the doorstep of the people. We'll go through the highlights of today's reports and the headlines today. Tinubu appoints DG and others. 97 Shiites arrested over Abuja. Federal government from Togo, Benin Republic universities. 18-year-old limits for next federal government. Take a short break and when we return, we'll go straight into the details. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now we dive into the details properly for today. Analysts have emphasized on the need for a capital agricultural investment across the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, a public affairs analyst, Ekie stated that most countries of the world are thriving regardless the unavailability of crude and other petroleum products in their territory. Meanwhile, Mr. Ekie decried against the increasing negligence by the government and the citizens as well. This is because the federal government have launched an agricultural initiative in Bayelsa State from under the Project N from the Soil. The initiative is designed to empower smallholder farmers, fisherfolk, agribusinesses, and coastal communities across the South-South region. In a different story, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, has pledged commitment to ensure the speedy resettlement of the displaced people of Okwama community in Delta State. The Nigerian Army conducted a military operation in response to the ambush and killings of 17 of its officers who were on a peace mission. Keyamo, who was represented by the delegation led by Prince Sam Onokowo, made his assurance during a solidarity visit to the internally displaced persons in the IDP camp at Ewu main town today. Speaking at the IDP camp, Okonowo conveyed the minister's concern for the plight of the displaced persons and assured them that all issues surrounding their displacement are being diligently addressed. As a gesture of solidarity and support, the delegation donated 100 bags of 25 kilograms rice to the camp's management, a contribution that was met with gratitude and joyous celebrations by the camp residents. In response, the secretary of the IDP camp expressed appreciation to the Honorable Minister on behalf of management and its inhabitants. He thanked the minister for his continuous support and assured him that the community remains hopeful for a swift resolution to their predicament. The visit underscores the federal government's commitment to restoring peace and stability in conflict-affected areas and ensuring that displaced persons are resettled in homes with renewed agenda for the future. Also, we bring to you that from state government, the police command on Monday said it had apprehended 6 suspected drug dealers and cultists during a raid on the criminal hideout in Afafa Ofiong community in the Sedibom local government area. Police public relations officer in the state, ASP Timfon John, who disclosed this to newsmen in a statement on Monday, said the suspects arrested were all male. John noted that the efforts of the police operatives that the Commissioner of Police, Wahid Ayilara, mobilized to the community following the intelligence report yielded results. According to John, those arrested during the raid were Kufre Godwin, Oko Monday Edet, Cyril Michael, Gabriel Effiong, Joseph Effiong Okun, and Odofia Emmanuel Odofia. The PPRO also disclosed that 2 bags containing substances suspected to be Indian hemp, cocaine, and some cocktail concoctions were recovered by the police operatives during the raid. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Akwa Ibom State Command, CP Wahid Ayilara, also reassured Akwa Ibomites of the command's unwavering commitment to get rid of criminal elements in the state. He urged them to always report any suspicious movements or suspicious persons to the nearest police station, as this will help the police cultivate the act on the information towards keeping the state safe and secured. Muritala Ibrahim has been apprehended by operatives in the Osun Amoteku Corps for alleged defilement. ATN gathered that 35-year-old Ibrahim allegedly defiled a 10-year-old girl whose name has been withheld in Agba, Borikpe local government area of Osun State. Ibrahim was arrested after the girl's mother lodged a complaint at the Amoteku command. The Corps commander, Osun Amoteku CSP Isaac, arrested in a statement on Monday. He revealed that Ibrahim allegedly the girl into his residence where he forcefully had carnal knowledge of her. Moyele added that Ibrahim also shaved part of the girl's hair and gave her another dress to wear. Ekiti State government has called on local council authorities to exercise fiscal discipline and allocate resources judiciously to improve conditions at grassroots level. The Commissioner for Local Government Affairs, Folarunsho Olabode, urged local governments to prioritize the need for their communities and agriculture in their 2025 budgets to address residents' needs and ensure food security. Olabode issued this directive in Ado-Ekiti on Monday during a one-day workshop on the preparation of the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework for relevant officers of local government and local councils development areas. The workshop, organized by the Ministry of Local Government Affairs in collaboration with the Budget, Economic Planning and Performance Management departments, was aimed to educate council officials on setting up the MTEF framework, a 3-year rolling plan in budget processes with development goals to ensure sustained growth. The Commissioner stated that it is imperative to address the issue of local government financial autonomy as it affects strategic planning, fiscal management, and resource allocation. He said, we need to ensure that our resources are used efficiently and directed towards programs that will have the greatest impact to our citizens and their lives. The Commissioner also urged local governments and local council development areas to prioritize agriculture and the empowerment of local government farmers in their 2020s. Olabode noted that although Governor Bio Ebanji had honored his pledge not to interfere with council funds, the governor remains committed to prioritizing grassroots development. Mariam Ogunlade, chairman of the Ekiti State House of Assembly Committee on Local Government, has urged those involved in preparing the 2025 budget to follow the necessary steps to achieve the desired outcomes. Ogunlade explained that adhering to the MTEF will enhance the achievement of strategic goals, including poverty reduction, increased employment, and investment opportunities. Proper implementation will lower economic activity costs and improve safety and security. Still in Ekiti State, Executive Council has approved 4.15 billion naira for the execution of projects, including road rehabilitation, house of culture, and construction of hostels. The Commissioner of Information, Taiwo Olatunboshon, disclosed the August 26 SEC approvals in a statement made available in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, on Tuesday. Olatunbosun stated that the SEC, in a bid to ensure the state's roads are well maintained and motorable, and a contract of 2.71 billion to a civil engineering construction company for the rehabilitation of the head of Faglo Bashijong Road at Ekiti. He stated rehabilitation of the road to traffic congestion around Adebayo to Ekiti State University and boost socio-economic activities in the area and enhance the security and quality of life for residents and property owners along the road. The commissioner said the job is expected to be completed in 12 months. Olatunbosun also stated the state government approved 100 million naira to comprehensively renovate and remodel the State House of Assembly complex and the House of Assembly Service Building Commission. He said the contract to ensure the Assembly and HASC structures were restored to the modern and functional state conducive to effectively discharge of legislative duties and administrative functions was awarded to the Clem Charles Nigeria Limited and expected to be completed in 12 weeks. The commissioner added that the SEC also approved 229 million naira to procure contractors and other farm machinery, including 3 tractors, 3 Field King 3-disc plugs, 1 Field King 22-disc harrow, and 2 Field King Ridger 2-row. He said the approval is a collaboration of demonstration of the unwavering resolve and commitment of the Governor Bildun Oyebanji administration to transform the agricultural sector through targeted initiatives aimed at empowering farmers and boosting production along the value chain. According to him, the procurement contract awarded to Agcoms International Trading Limited is expected to be completed in 4 weeks. Still on agriculture, Olatunbosun said that the state government also approved 177.9 million naira as part payments to clear the 325 hectares of land for some youths in Ekere, Emure, Moba, Idosi, and Ekiti local government areas of the state to support youth agriculture initiatives at their respective local government levels in a bid to empower farmers in the state. He added the state government ratified the awards of 329.4 million naira contract to the construction of 100-bed space capacity hostel at the region. The move, expected to be completed in 12 weeks, is a guarantee to continuous full boarding facility in the school. The state government has earlier signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Army, and the hostel accommodation is to facilitate academic resumption, the commissioner stated. In a different story, a tea vendor identified as Abdurrashidu Yau in Jigawa State has allegedly killed a 20-year-old man named Hassan Garba over accusations of stealing bread, milk, noodles, and petrol. The suspect who resides in Sararai village, Jigawa, Sada town in Dutse local government area is said to have committed the crime on August 19, 2024 at around 5 a.m. The police public relations officer of the Jigawa State Command DSP Lawan Adam confirmed the crime in a statement on Tuesday. He said upon receiving the report, a standby patrol team promptly rushed to the scene, apprehended the suspect, and conveyed the victim to Rashid Shekoni Teaching Hospital for immediate medical attention. Noted at Onaro, the medical doctor on duty identified the 20-year-old man dead. His remains were examined, photographed, and later released to his relatives for burial according to Islamic rites. The suspect admitted during interrogation at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Dutse, that the deceased had upset him by stealing his goods at the point where he had informed his parents about it, but nothing had been done. Upon apprehending the deceased at this point, he made the decision to tie him with a rope and began striking him with a whip in secret. The PPRO further revealed he pointed out the neighbors within the vicinity heard the deceased cries for help, but they were unable to save him until the arrival of police officers. Adam assured that upon completion of the discreet investigation, the suspect will be diligently arraigned in court to face the full wrath of the law. Similarly, the police spokesperson said on August 20th, 2024, at about 3 p.m., one Mahmoud Yusuf of Kadume village, Malam Madori local government, reported that Hadeji, a division that on the same date at about 15:00 hours has his ginseng motorcycle, black in color, without registration number, was stolen at Hadeji General Hospital. Noting that on receipt of the report, policemen on patrol were alerted. He disclosed that on August 21st, 2024, at about 7 a.m., one Aliyu, age 24, in Gagulari headquarters, in Hadejai local government area, was arrested and the stolen motorcycle was found in his possession. He said, quote, during the interrogation process at the Divisional Crime Branch Hadejai, the suspect admitted to committing the alleged offense. The suspect has since been charged to court for prosecution, he said. Do not forget that we are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our socials and watch us online, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly known as Twitter at atlantictv.net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. In the rest of the stories, according to the presidency spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale in a release on Monday, Ambassador Mohammed, in a new Director General of the NIA. Mr. Adeolu Oluwatosin Ajayi is the new Director General of DSS. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of new Director Generals of the National Intelligence Agency (NIA) and the Department of State Services (DSS). According to the presidency spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale in a release on Monday, Ambassador Mohammed is the new Director of the NIA, while Mr. Adeolu Oluwatosin Ajayi is the new Director General of the DSS. Ambassador Mohammed has had an illustrious career in the Foreign Service since joining the NIA in 1995. He has served in various roles, culminating in his promotion to the rank of Director and his subsequent appointment as the head of the Nigerian mission in Libya. The 1990 graduate of the Bayero University, Kano, had served in North Korea, Pakistan, Sudan, and at the State House in Abuja. The new DSS director, Mr. Adeolu Ajayi, rose through the ranks to attain his current position as Assistant Director General of the service. He had at various times served as State Director in Bauchi, Enugu, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Kogi. The new appointments followed the resignation of the previous NIA and DSS chiefs. President Bola Tinubu expects that the new security chiefs will work assiduously to reposition the new intelligence agencies for better results and charges them to bring their experience to bear in tackling the security challenges bedeviling the country. They are to do this through enhanced collaboration with sister agencies and in surgical alignment with the Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA. The President thanks the outgoing Director Generals of the two pivotal intelligence agencies for their services to the nation, while wishing them success in their future endeavors. The Nigerian Police Force said it has detained 97 members of the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN, known as the Shiite Group, for prosecution, following the clash of the group in Abuja on Monday. Newsmen report that the clash resulted in the deaths of 2 policemen and 3 sustained serious injuries. The force public relations officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said this in a statement on Monday in Abuja, said credible intelligence reports helped the police operatives to apprehend the detained suspects. He said the Inspector General of the Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun's directive on the matter would be carried out to the latter. Adejobi said the IG had reaffirmed the police determination to arrest other persons involved in the attack and bring them to justice. The spokesman quoted the IG as saying he would resist all sorts of anarchy and unrest in any parts of the country and pledged to continue to maintain law and order in all parts of the country. According to him, the unprovoked killings of police officers in line of duty are highly outrageous and unacceptable, as those who murdered those policemen have murdered peace. Quoting him, as investigations unfold, the Nigerian police force is determined to uncover the full extent of this attack and prevent future occurrences of such violence against police officers, he said. Adejobi said the Inspector General sympathized with the grieving families of the fallen police officers and wished those currently undergoing treatment speedy recovery. He called on the public to support and understand the Nigerian police force in its quest to maintain law and order, even in the face of extremists and threats in violent crimes. You're watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports. Now to the rest of our stories. Federal government has stated that only 8 universities have been accredited to award degrees to Nigerians in Togo and Benin Republic. The Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, made this known on Sunday night while speaking on some television networks in a Sunday politics program. Maman, during a press conference last Friday to mark his 1 year in office, disclosed that over 22,500 Nigerians obtained fake degree certificates from the 2 countries, and such certificates would be cancelled. The minister said the revelation was part of a report submitted to the Federal Executive Council by a committee with a mandate to probe degree certificate racketeering by foreign and local universities in Nigeria. He added that the development follows the undercover investigation report in which a Nigerian journalist acquired a degree from a university in Benin Republic in under 2 months and used it to get deployed for the National Youth Service Corps in Nigeria. Speaking during the program, the minister said the federal government also recognized 3 institutions in Togo and 5 in Benin Republic, while identifying others as illegal institutions. Maman made a list and listed the public universities below as the federal government-approved institutions to offer degree programs in Togo for students in Nigeria. The first university is Université de Lome in Lomé, Université de Kara, Catholic University of West Africa. The minister also listed 5 accredited universities authorized to provide degree programs in Benin Republic of Benin for students from Nigeria, being Université de Abomey Calavi, Université da Parakou, Université Nationale des Sciences, Technologies Ingeri et Mathématiques, Université Nationale d'Agriculture, Université Africaine de Développement Coopératif. The minister also insisted that there is no going back on the decision of the federal government to cancel about 22,700 certificates awarded to Nigerians by some fake universities in neighboring Togo and Benin Republic. Mama maintained that the decision to invalidate the certificates was not harsh, as some Nigerians who obtained degree certificates from such illegal tertiary institutions dent the country's image. He said, quoting him, "Most of those parading the fake certificates didn't even leave the shores of Nigeria, but got their certificates through racketeering in collaboration with government officials at home and abroad." The fake universities capitalized on the gullibility of Nigerians patronizing such fake schools. The federal government, through the offices of the head of civil service and the secretary of the federation, would fish out those in the government employment with such fake certificates. "I also urge the private sector to follow suit," he said. Federal government has prohibited individuals under the age of 18 from taking part in the National Examinations Council and West African Council examinations. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, disclosed this when he featured on a television program on Sunday Politics. From the previous news stories, he explained that the federal government has directed WAEC, which conducts the West African Senior School Examination Certificates, and NECO, which oversees the Senior School Certificate Examination, to enforce the 18-year age requirement for candidates wishing to take these exams. He added that the age limit for candidates sitting for the Unified Tertiary Examination matriculation administered by the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board remains set for 18 years. He said, "It is 18. What we did at the meeting that we had with JAMB in July that contrary to what some people are saying. We are just simply reminding people of what is existing. In any case, NECO and WAEC henceforth will not be allowing underage children to write their examinations. In other words, if somebody has not spent the requisite number of years in that particular level of study, WAEC and NECO will not approve the person. In summary, the federal government has prohibited individuals under the age of 18 from taking part in the National Examinations Council and West African Council's exams. This was approved and disclosed by Professor Tahir Maman, where he explained that the federal government has directed WAEC, which conducts the West African School Certificate examinations, and NECO, which oversees the Senior School Certificate examination, to enforce the 18-year-old requirement for candidates wishing to take these exams. This, he said, was not a new policy. He added that the age limit for candidates sitting for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam administered by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, which is JAMB, remains set for 18 years, not to allow them to write the examination. In reaction to the news, Nigerian Union of Teachers has condemned the federal government's decision to ban under-18 candidates from sitting for the West African Senior School Examination Certificate and the National Examination Council, even as the Academic Staff Union of Universities backed the policy. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, announced on some television rights programs in previous stories that the new instituted age policy was 18, setting the minimum age at that age. This means underage candidates will no longer be allowed to sit for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination and the Senior School Certificate Examination, both crucial for advancing to tertiary education. The directive also affects the West African Examination Council, which administers the WASSCE, and the National Examinations Council responsible for the SSEE. Additionally, Maman confirmed that the age limit to undertake the Unified Tertiary Examination overseen by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, will also be fixed at 18. He added that this is not a new policy. The minister went further to give a breakdown of the number of years pupils are expected to spend between childcare and secondary school. According to him, early care is expected to last for first 5 years. Pupils are expected to begin primary 1 at the age of 6, spend 6 years in primary school, and move to junior secondary school at the age of 12, spend 3 years before moving to senior secondary school at the age of 15, and then spending another 3 years before leaving for university at the age of 18. Last month, Maman, in a meeting with JAMB and other education stakeholders, insisted that the UTME should be set at 18 years. However, the law sparked criticisms, particularly from the university stakeholders, as many of those categorized as underage candidates had already taken the UTME without anticipating the directive. This posed a threat to potential 16 and 17-year-olds who had already passed the UTME examinations and were seeking admissions into universities. Following the disapproval, the minister reversed the directive, allowing candidates from 16 years to be admitted into the university as it previously stood until 2025. However, following Sunday's procurement, Maman insisted that there was no going back on the policy. The minister said, "It is 18 years. What we at the meeting held previously was to serve as a deterrent and a kind of notice to parents as of last year, but starting this year, JAMB will admit students who are below the age. Next year, JAMB is going to insist that anybody applying to go to university in Nigeria meet the required age, which is 18. Reacting to it, the Secretary General NUT, Dr. Mike Ene, in an interview with reporters, said that changes in society like early enrollment in crèches due to economic pressures made it unrealistic to restrict learning based on age. He added that exceptional students who might be younger but academically advanced were not considered in the policy, warning that the policy could lead to legal challenges, and urged the government to rethink it, calling it poorly conceived. He said, "You also have to consider exceptional students. Some students are 18 years old in SS3. Is the minister taking these scenarios into account? What are these students supposed to do? Wait 2 more years? I see this is a policy that could lead to numerous legal challenges. The government needs to rethink this thoroughly. It is a poorly conceived policy." Also speaking, National President ASUP, Mr. Shama Banja, maintained that the decision is to allow students under 18 to sit for examinations should depend on their abilities, saying that gifted students might not need to spend the full years in school. He advised the government to focus on critical issues like providing functional equipment in schools, addressing infrastructural deficits, and improving teachers' welfare rather than exam age restrictions. In a different story, the Nigerian Football Federation has announced that it has reached an agreement with German tactician Bruno Labbadia to become the head coach of the Nigeria senior men national team, the Super Eagles. NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohamed Sanusi said in the early hours of Tuesday, the NFF Executive Committee has approved the recommendation of its Technical and Developmental Subcommittee to appoint Mr. Bruno Labbadia as the new head coach of the Super Eagles. The appointment is with immediate effect. Labbadia, born in Darmstadt, Germany on 8 February 1966, Labbadia, who also won caps for Dimansha in his playing career, took him to clubs in the hometown of Darmstadt 98, Hamburg SV, FC Klosteren, Bayern Munich, FC Cologne, Werder Bremen, Arminia Bielefeld, and Kansler SC. Triumph as a German Bundesliga in Bayern Munich as a player in 1994. He coached famous names such as Hertha Berlin and VfB Stuttgart in this decade, and previously VfL Wolfsburg, Hamburger SB, Bayern Leverkusen, amongst others, and holds a UEFA Pro license. He is only the 6th German after Karl-Heinz Marx, who had stints between 1970 and 1974, Hotep Gola in 1981, Manfred Horner in 1988 to 1989, Bertha Vogts in 2007 to 2008, and Gernot Rohr 2016 to 2021 to lead the Super Eagles. He honored the Eagles to runner-up positions at the 1998 African Cup of Nations, while Gernot Rohr qualified and led Nigeria to the 2018 FIFA World Cup finals in Russia. Labbadi's immediate challenge is to take charge of the 3-time African champions for 2 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying matches against Benin Republic, which is to hold on Saturday 7th in September in Uyo, and Rwanda on Tuesday 10th September in Kigali, with 4 other matches to conclude the qualifying race following in the months of October and November. The list and history of Super Eagles coaches that has coached national team is John Finch, an English national that coached in 1949, Daniel Anyam, a Nigerian that coached up until 1965, Les Couture, an English coach that coached up until 1960, Moshe Belt Hevel of Israel that coached up until 1961, George Vada of Hungary that coached up until 1963, Joel Blackwell, an English national that coached up until 1964, Josef Emba, a Hungarian that coached up until 1968, Sabino Barigana, Peter Eto, Emechina, a Nigerian that coached up until 1970. Marox, which coached 1971 to 1974. George Pena, that coached up until 1973. Father Tico, known as Tihomer, that coached up until 1978. Otho Gloria, a Brazilian, that coached up until 1981. Hoteb Hola, a German, that coached up until 1981. Adegboye Onigbinde, a Nigerian that coached up until 1992 and 2002. Patrick Ekeji, a Nigerian that coached up until 1985. Paul Hamilton, a Nigerian that also coached up until 1989. Manfred took over from Paul Hamilton and led the Super Eagles up until 1989. Clems Wensterhoff, a Netherlands coach that coached up until 1994. Amodu Shuaibu, one of the longest serving Nigerian managers that coached from 1994 up until 2010. Johannes Bonfrere, a Netherlands coach that coached up until 2001. Philly Trosser, a French national that coached just in 1997. Monday Sinclair, a Nigerian that coached up until 1998. Bora Moletinovic, that coached in 1999. Tis Libre in 1999. Christian Chukwu, that coached up until 2005. Augustin Eguavon, that coached Nigeria national team up until 2002. Betis Voxt, a German coach that coached in 2008. Lags Lagerbäck, a Swedish international that coached up until 2010. Samson Siasia, that coached up until 2016. Stephen Keshi, that coached up until 2015. Sunday Olise, that led the Nigerian Super Eagles from 2015 up until 2016. Gernot Rohr, a German national that coached up until 2021. Jose Peseiro, a Portuguese that coached up until 2024. Finidi George, that coached just in 2024 before having a spat with Osimhen and being sacked. Bruno Labbadia, a German, the current coach that has been appointed